Hi, I am Silvio and this is part 13 of my 2025 Christmas Village full tutorial series. It is time to complete the last access problem. I need to go from the stairs there. Follow me please a moment. From those stairs here up to the industrial / commercial section, because right now it is a little isolated, okay? So I don't like that. It is the last step for connecting every single piece, every single parts together. A road for accessing what will be the last level up there is done. Everything else is connected. That is the last step. Maybe some steep road or maybe some new stairs, but not that twin stairs, standard stairs. Maybe. I don't know right now. I just need to start this part 13. Then obviously I will continue painting the buildings, because right now it is what will take me most hours I've never worked on. Okay, so 100 hours? Yes, more than 100 hours to paint everything, considering that each single building take between one hour and a half and 2 hours. It depends on the complexity, if I add the scenes inside or not. Then obviously all the figurines, I will try to at least add one finished painted figurines from my new 2025 batch to the village by the end of this part 13. And what else? Right now I don't know, it is too early. It is too early. I need to start working on something. And so maybe some other surprises. Who knows? I would like to talk about something for me very important that is not discussed enough anywhere. Nowadays, Christmas villages are 45% buildings, 45% figurines, 10% movements, vehicles, attractions, carnival items, props, table accents, trees, etc. But the main characters here are buildings and the figurines. Everyone is talking about buildings, about past buildings, about modern buildings, about nowadays buildings, about vintage buildings. No one is talking about, almost no one is talking about figurines. But the Christmas village without figurines is facing death. It cannot exist, a Christmas village without figurines. Certainly the production of buildings is much more bigger than the production of figurines. And nowadays there are many producers, many manufacturers of buildings, Limax, Department 56, Dickens Village, Dickens Town, Dickens Village from Department 56, but there is also Dickens Town from Europe. There is Louisville, obviously, that is Europe, etc. So everyone knows perfectly Lemax, Department 56. all Christmas villages were built upon them. But if you look at their catalog, it is filled with buildings and a little quantity of figurines. If you watch some pictures about cities, about villages, they were crowded. Ancient building. I'm not talking about a modern city. Yes, there are metropolises such as Paris, New York, Rome that are overpopulated, always people going one beside the other, one after the other, elbow against elbow. Even the past, and I've shown you at the very beginning of this 2025 season how crowded were Victorian time cities, villages, etc. Why Victorian? Let's talk seriously. Christmas villages have been invented by Charles Dickens with a Christmas Carol. Charles Dickens was plain full Victorian era. So, Christmas villages. For me, and I think for many others, is Victorian time, Dickens time. Let's say that modern way of perceiving Christmas is due to Charles Dickens. Okay? The modern way of considering Christmas, the houses, the gift, the Christmas trees, etc. Christmas, modern Christmas, has been invented by Charles Dickens. Okay, I'm not a heretic right now, it is like that. Then producers, then manufacturers introduced other time periods simply because it was impossible to have just one period of time. The cells would have plunged down, would have diminished constantly year after year. So they introduced, I don't know, Halloween, Spooky Town. They introduced Harry Potter when the Harry Potter saga started. They introduced Vale Village. They introduced the Santa's Wonderland, Sugar and Spice, whatever, Harvest Crossing, 1950s, etc. And modern buildings and buildings that can represent actual modern cities with skyscrapers, etc. But that was dictated by the market. But the figurines didn't follow that. Just by pure chance, if you have the the impulse to get to Landmark's collection website and search for figurines and search for buildings, you will see the disproportion between figurines and buildings, and it is like that. But the figurines are not only mandatory, are the second half of the heart of a Christmas village. I'm talking about history there, but it is like that. I have, let me get an example. I have a collection of 3,300,000, 2,000, 5,000, 15,000 figurines. subjects, Victorian, nowadays, different sizes, Pokemon, I don't know, Dragon Ball Z, etc., etc., City Hunter, etc. Should I place all of them in a Christmas village? Up to you guys, but if you want to listen this old guy here that is speaking right now to you, try to get a little smart about that. It's not the maximum I add, the better it is, even I mix Disneyland and the Victorian time. It is maybe accepted, but I am passing my my fingernails on some blackboard right now. Just hear the sound of the blackboard while my fingernails scratch onto the onto the blackboard. For who remember the blackboards and the sounds not only of the chalk on the blackboard but also the nails on the blackboard. It is a very disturbing sound. Coherence. You need to be coherent with what you do. If possible, the same age, the same era for every Christmas village. I don't know. Sometimes in Vale Village collection from Landmarks, you see people clothed with Montclair and Timberland. What does that have in common with the original village, the Victorian era village? Nothing. Or maybe, I don't know, Lucy Liu, bags and bags, etc. Or maybe, I don't know, mini skirt, etc. No, guys. Try to avoid that. And some exceptions are accepted. I do exception. I am not that rigorous with my figurines. I try to follow Victorian time, Dickens time, but for some figurines I made some exception because they are too good not to be added, or because the clothes of that figurine, of those figurines, it's not that too much advanced compared to Victorian figurines. But I will never put on a skating ice in pond some skaters clothed in Victorian time and some prom queens in bikini. Okay, it is like that. Okay, and sunglasses. Extreme, but it is like that. So guys, yes, maybe too little figurines is not good. Too much figurines overcrowded, it is not good. Try balancing between buildings and figurines. But your villages need to be crowded. If and when possible. Enough talking about this. Let me get into the real action. Everyone knows Landmarks figurines. They dictated the market since the end of 1990, since the end of the 90s, up to today. Also Department 56, but they were so different, the figurines from Department 56. Landmarks was much more realistic in the form, in the shape of their figurines, much more regular fit size, okay? Regular fit size. Department 56, at a certain point, every figurine was balloon faces. Let me show you a figurine that I haven't on display right now, but let me show what I'm talking about. So guys, during these weeks, during these days, I'm starting really exploring for the first time my gigantic mother's collection. That, okay, you know, I already told you about my mother's collection, and I will show you another piece of her collection that she acquired maybe through her connections when she still worked, because without internet, without marketplaces, it was very difficult in Europe to get hands on some Department 56 buildings or figurines. I don't think, because otherwise I would have been in charge of it, that she acquired this after after Amazon or eBay or other marketplaces was born. She had other sources for this, and in the stores, in Christmas stores, there were only Christmas cribs or nativity scenes, okay, at that time. But she had the connection due to her work, etc. This is from 1994, The Old Man and the Sea, set of 3 hand-painted porcelain, Department 56, and it is from Heritage Collection. At that time, the cost was 25 USD. I have the proof here. It has been purchased at 25 USD at Homestead. I don't know where. I sincerely, and I can't ask anymore. But I just wanted to show you how the figurines were not normal, standard for Department 56, even if they were pure porcelain and not resin, as Lemax used to do already in 1994. Those are pure porcelain, guys, made in Taiwan as always. Heritage Village series. It is not marked the year, but believe me, it is 1994. Maybe here I have the year. Heritage, no, there isn't, but it is 1994. So guys, when I'm talking here, I'm talking, maybe it is due to the fact that working with porcelain, it is mandatory to work like that, to work in this way, to have those shape here. I don't want to damage or to ruin them, but please look at the faces they have. Okay guys, sorry for the camera. I'm trying one at a time. I don't want to break anything. Look at the faces and tell me if they are fat. Sorry guys, but they are chubby, yes, fat, but all the figurines from Department 56 from that period, even if the poses are amazing, perfect, absolutely wonderful, but come on, how much they used to eat, those guys. And in Victorian time, Heritage Village is Victorian time, only very extra rich people could eat that much, okay? And so everyone is so fatty, so chubby, so fat, overweighted, and him too, the poor guy is using the magnify here, what is his name? It's not a binocular, but it is I will write it right now because I'm missing the term, but it is using it the opposite way instead of magnifying, it will see nothing. And this was also fun, guys. And they are not rich, because look what they had on their coat there. They have patches on their coat. So I don't think that normal people or not rich people have enough food to eat to be considered or to become so fat. And once again, no distinction between the two legs. Porcelain, I know, this is a way to tell you we switched to polyresin and resin simply because it was impossible to have a decent result with porcelain and having legs, separated legs. Him too, it is better, but him, he's not fat. But once again, perfect poses. So maybe I will use them, but this was the conception they had, the Department 56 had. When people get on something, they are not so bad, but here once again the legs are joined together or simulated legs. Him not, because it is sitting on something. The old man, the old seaman, sea wolf, I don't know. Okay guys, porcelain was very impossible to model in such tiny dimensions, and to be able to avoid the porcelain to crack at every two seconds. Even a small shock like that could have caused the porcelain to crack. But figurines are important. I would have used, maybe I will use some of them. Believe me, it's not that easy for me to explore my mother collection. Too many souvenirs, too many. Okay, too many. Okay, it was too many. But figurines, at some point, the same times, end of 90s, starting of 2000s. We go with one of the oldest figurines I have. Maybe I have something from 1990 from Lemax, my collection. Okay, my collection. So when I say this is my mother collection, I will always see that even if I can and I should and I will maybe a day consider that my collection now, I've always used my Lemax collection, what I acquired by myself in my Christmas villages, and what I produced by myself. This is a 2002, gigantic, very heavy, guys. It is resin, yes. It is 3, 5, 6 people figurines. They are at a wedding, and you can recognize that they are at a wedding like that. Gigantic base, impossible to hide. Maybe a little bending towards the right here. If you see that, the little girl on the right, it is bending towards the right. But this was the quality of Lemax at the end of 90s and the early new millennia. Awful ISIS, guys. I don't know if you can see the ISIS, how they painted the ISIS. But this was considered a standard quality, and with resin, I don't think that by this time period, Department 56 switched everything to resin. They still produce it in porcelain. Nowadays, the figurines are in resin also. It seems porcelain because it is very heavy, but it is the porcelain will always be cold. In some seconds it will become cold. Resin never gets as cold as porcelain. So if you have dabs, consider the temperature. Then one of the most iconic from 2006, so 4 years later, Lemax improved the quality, guys. So this trio of snob people there, it was good. It could be considered a good quality, extremely, but the base is gigantic once again, too big for the base. They improved even if the faces, the eyes, even if the faces and the color of the skin is to fade. But the dress of the snob lady, etc., is magnificent, very well designed, very absolutely Victorian time, maybe a little towards 1905, because gentlemen there doesn't have no does not have top hats, and the gentlemen at that time used to go with top hats. But this figurine will be perfect even with this one that is pure Victorian, guys, top hats, etc. Only girls had, little girls had dresses shorter, etc. Ladies always long dresses, etc. Those could go together. Then one of the beautiful production of the Lemax, it is from 2009, guys, the shoe shiner. But it is not original, guys. I'm still trying to find where they get the idea, because 90% of the production from Lemax of that period, early 2020, after 2006, was copied, almost copied, from Louisville. I know it isn't that known, Louisville, around the world. It is a Dutch company that almost sold everything in the Netherlands, that is in Europe the biggest market for Lemax in Europe, Christmas villages in Europe. I just wanted to remember you that were born in the Netherlands, then expanded all around. So Louisville was very well known in the Netherlands, then Belgium, yes, and also France, because it is next to Belgium. So those three countries, not Germany, but to not Northern North mythology, they still had North mythology, etc. But the Netherlands, Belgium and France adopted Louisville, and Louisville was magnificent. I haven't still found the equivalent from Louisville, but I know my mother has it somewhere, and if I show you the original, that is not from 2009, but is from 2006 or 2007, because Louisville exploded in 2006. The first catalogs were from 2006. You are certainly thinking, oh, come on, so it is Louisville that copied from Lemax. No, they made magnificent production, original production, and they started, because the first catalog we know of is from 2006. And the best production was series 600, 601, 602, 603, so between 2006 and 2009, okay? It was the golden age of Louisville, then the quality shoot down, decreased incredibly, etc. But I will come to that. So this is one of the good production of the, you must, it is Victorian, always Victorian, but if I show you how poorly they painted the face, guys, look at the eyes. One looking down, one looking up. Wow. And they are almost all that bad, that poorly painted. The poor guy here, it has some, the shoe shiner. Let me get it to you a little better. It is a little less poorly painted, but it is the pose. It is the pose. People acting some natural pose, doing some natural things for that period of time are the most important. Snob people there, snob people. I don't look in your eyes because I am a snob and I am the richest of the village, of the city. They always walked like this, looking no one in the eyes because they were superior to others. Those one are a little to strike a pose, but it is intended because certainly there was a photographer in front of the church, and this is a classic for that time. If you look at some marriage pictures from that time in black and white, obviously they were all striking a pose like that. But this is shoe shiner, young shoe shiner, a young child, not even a teenager, I think, polishing shoes for rich people. But this one will always be present in my Christmas villages because it is so natural pose. And I could continue like that, but you can see that I am merging things, figurines that go together, and it is difficult for me to buy some figurines that is not from that period of time. Let me do a quantum leap into the future. Let me go to last season, 2024. This is handsome, but something is disturbing me. It is a very well designed figurine, guys, especially the mom dress there. But look at the mom's hands. Sorry for saying that. For me, it is like, I will throw you a punch in the face because you have been so bad. It is like that, guys. Look. I know maybe she's doing something else. She is trying to, okay, you have done your tie like that. Okay, guys, but I bought this because it is so Victorian with the boy like that, with the hat. Maybe this is a school uniform. At that time it was in vogue, school uniforms. It is so Victorian. But for me, the mom hasn't a good position with their hands, okay? But at least faces are very well defined. It is resin, still resin. Figurines have decreased a little the dimension. It is less visible, but less heavier also. But it is a 2024 production, and it is the last production they did for Caddington Village, because in 2025 they made a lot of buildings but zero figurines. They added some figurines in the Caddington collection, so in Victorian collection, but please take a look at their clothes, not even close to Victorian time. you will understand why I choose this one and why I bought it the instant I've seen that figurine. So figurines are the most important, guys, but you have seen that I'm not showing you any Dragon Ball Z, any Mickey Mouse, any Lupin, any City Hunter, any Pokemon figurines, okay? No, no. Let me switch. So this was 2004, 2024. That it is not that much different from 2009. So let's say that the quality, at least for the figurines, has always been constant with Lemax. Not, and I repeat, not, and I repeat, not, and I repeat, not for their buildings. The quality, I don't know if we can still talk about Lemax quality there. If you wanted to talk about non-quality, yes, I'm the first one to join you in that discussion. But the production always, sometimes the painters made some errors, etc. But believe me, because I paint my proper figurines, it is so difficult to paint the eyes in such a small scale, 6 centimeter scale, so much. So you will need extremely thin, between 5-0 and 10-0 brushes. Okay, 10 zeros, 5 zeros. So guys, this is a 10-0 brush. It is almost invisible. It is a real damaged, etc. But the brush here, it is 10 zeros, very, very thin brush. You can't use a 3 brush like that. Even if I use a 3 brush for my figurines, for the biggest, but those are the same collection, a 3, a 0, and a 1 and a 2. I always use 1, 2 and 0, 3 only for biggest parts, etc. Lemax, Limax, Lemax, Lemax, Lemax. Let me switch to Louville, but instead of going from past to present, I'm going from present, almost present, because they don't produce that much figurines nowadays. So this is John and his grandfather. It is from 2011. In 2011, the production of Louville already started to be poor, and you will understand why I'm telling you that. This is 2011, so 603, 604, 605 series. When they started producing figurines and buildings, because in the beginning, Louville also produced the amazing buildings. One day, maybe if you want, I can share you some Louville catalog and you can cry on them, because they are so beautiful, the production. And also Louville started not from Caddington, but they started from Bredbury, Bredbury. It is set in 1850 in a Victorian time period. Then they added Charonne-sur-Mer, they added Schneewald, they added Molendam after 2009. But the first years they went with Bredbury, almost the 2006 and 2007, so Victorian, as Victorian was so famous with Lemax, but they did some original things. Then they introduced other villages, Wilde in France or Belgium, etc., because they had the customers from France and Belgium, so they added a collection, represented them. Then up to Molendam 1950. Molendam, it is a fictional name for Dutch, for a city in the Netherlands, but they did a collection. This is not this is modern, because in 2011, and not that well painted. It is resin, yes, and but the way they are clothed could be in Victorian time, even if the boy here, John, has a pompon on top of his cap there. No, it's not a cap, it is a beanie, maybe a beanie with a pom-pom on top of it. And it is not that Victorian, but come on guys, this could be Victorian. Here the snowman had crushed the top hat on top of his head, etc. its head, etc. So this is quality. And the faces, guys, Louisville always had good qualities, and concerning the faces, this one has a little of glue. They use it to glue together on the face there, but this was a good quality. Then one of my favorite, and you know, it is Kissing Goodbye, guys. This is from 2014, and this one had not the scratches protectors down, etc. This one, yes, from 2014. It's certainly not Victorian, because the girl there has a too short skirt there. It is from Wilde, and it is set around 1950, etc. It could be, this is one of my conception, but it's not that too modern, okay? Maybe 1940 in some very advanced no more Victorian cities, but it could be, and that, guys, is so good. This couple kissing with the girl having one leg in the air like that, it is so romantic, it is so good, it is so Christmas spirit, guys. I couldn't avoid to buy it. I don't buy many bill figurines, especially because they don't produce any more normal figurines. But thank you, Mom, once again. Let me show you how good was Louisville and why those figurines are nowadays priceless. The 3 figurines I will show you, maybe I will continue showing you some other of my mother collection figurines from my mother collection from Louisville in the next weeks. But this is from 603 series, so 2008, this is 3. So this is Laura Martin and little brother sitting on a fence. Just take an example on how imaginative they were, Louisville, and still are, with the names of their figurines. This one is number 3, and it is Laura Martin and little brother sitting on a fence, and this is the real name on the catalog. It is from 2009, and it is Schneewald, 1950. But they are so well fitted even in Victorian time. Collection 603 meaning the year of production, 600, starting 600, that was 2006. Each year they implemented one more in the 60 series. So this is 2009 Schneewald, 1950. It is set in 93. Schneewald is the Snow Valley. It's not like Wave Valley because it is Schnee Valley. It is Schneewald. It is Snow Valley. But guys, and start crying. I will show you the back of the figurine and look at the quality of this figurine. Look, simple defenses, the ropes, the wood is so well designed, the wood, guys, the grass, etc. And if I turn the figurine, you will cry once more. Look at the faces, no scratches, no problem, so perfectly painted. This figurine has a value between, nowadays, because they are so rare, between 80 and 100, 110 euros, equivalent in USD. It's not a building, but it has the price of a very rare building. A single resin figurine, because this is not porcelain, it is resin, that value, that price, but look at the quality. The eyes is perfectly painted, the ends, the color of the dresses, and those guys there sitting on the fence, it could also be in 90, in 80, 90, there was, even if it is almost half a century in difference, they weren't that different, the clothes for child, not that modern. Even the youngest one, it is perfectly painted, guys. Have you started crying because of the quality of Louisville and because it is no more like that? No, I will never separate myself from this, even if it is not my collection. Maybe one day I will consider it my collection. 2009. This is 2009. Guys, I don't know if I will be able to compare the quality of the poses. Those are 3 children, okay? So normally, but look at the faces. Look at the faces, the comparison of the faces. Okay, 1994, porcelain, yes, but having the legs separated. Look at the guy here, the little boy here, trying to jump onto the fence with the knee on the fence. So natural pose. They are looking at something. He is asking for help, for getting up on the fence. Him too. Those are so natural poses, with the hand there, etc. Long hair, the red bow ribbon on the hair of the girl, etc. Long, not that long, but long dress here for the girl, long skirt for the girl, short trousers for the boy there, scarves, hats, etc. Beautifully done pose, the wood, the grass, the snow. You can understand why they have such an high value on the market. True, someone is trying to make much more profit, but between 80 and 95 it is still a good price, and they are so rare. They haven't, so rare. Okay, I'm lucky to have them and could show you them to you. Now I will go with item number 2, always resin from Louisville. It is from the same Victorian time era, okay? Breedbury 1850, man with new hat. 601, so it is 2007 year of production. And once again, guys, look at the quality. These, I can understand why my mother acquired them, and with my French half of the family, I can understand why she could acquire those figurines even from Italy. I still cannot figure out how she could get her hands on some Department 56, but on some Louisville, yes. And look at the quality from behind, once again, 2007, 2009, almost the same 8 for almost the same base. This one is a little less invasive, the one from Louisville. The same way of adding some gloss to everyone. Here the skin is a little less pink. Lemax used to use so pink, and the resin was pink and not painted. But the eyes, guys, the lips, etc. Okay, this is, I think, a hat seller. Okay, and it is from Breedbury 8050, so it is right Victorian time collection. Now, last one I will show you from Louisville. If you cried for the quality of those two figurines, get some more tissues and cry even more. I will show you, I think it is the most rare and the most asked figurine from Louisville, from the original series. It is from series 600, and it is from Breedbury still. It is Annie Brent and son William. What more than Victorian names are those one, okay? 2006 Breedbury collection, set in 8050. Have you grabbed some more tissues? Let me show you item number 1. So, look, I get around. Look at the hat, at mom's hat. Look at the boy. Look at the faces. How defined are the faces? And this is 2006, guys. How good this was, top notch. No one. I don't know why they hadn't so much more success, and why they didn't continue to have so much success. Because the quality, imagine having all the figurines like those ones, okay, on the market between 120, 150 up to 200 euros on the market. One of the rarest figurine from Louisville. But for me, one of the best they ever produced. I always admired it in my mom's villages, in our villages. I am afraid to break it. Look at the roses on mom's head. Look at the hat, the decoration of the hat, the dress, the green dress, the movement that the dress has, following the moms, getting almost on their knees to help his son that has some gloves, some winter gloves, to put on his hat and look at the end where she is. She never forgot how important it was to protect the neck of a newborn baby, and now she continues protecting. What's so more natural than this pose, guys? The mom getting on their knees in the snow to put the hat on her son. And the angelic face of the son, guys. Well, this is top notch, guys. And let me do this, guys. You understand now why I told you they copied it. 2024, 2006. Okay? No, the green mums from Louisville is not shorter. She's simply bending a little more. But here, Lemax has done a very gigantic dress, but this is so natural. This is Victorian, maybe with some cages under, but the cage was used only in the dress only for dances. Okay, and I think I'm not sure 100% where nowadays is produced Louisville, but the Netherlands. Yes, in the Netherlands. No, made in China. Okay, made in China the 2004. But the artist who modeled this is at another level. And if I place them like this, guys, look at the similarities, okay? But look how much natural is mom with her son from Louisville and not from Lemax, okay? More natural poses, more a natural act of kindness. This is why Louisville was so good. I'm sorry. I know you don't know Louisville. I will try to show you some more figurines from Louisville. And you can understand why they are so pricey nowadays. Because even from 2014, the quality is not the same, guys. Absolutely well painted. This is less well painted. The legs are less well defined there. But it is an overall good posture, a good pose. Natural pose. Okay, natural. Louisville has always been natural poses, even this one. Not that much this one, but it is a seller, and a net seller, it is like that. Other figurines I know from my mother collection, it is from Bradbury 1850. Not all of them set during Christmas time, so some people are dressed with winter clothes, like in this case mom and son, some not, but they are so Victorian that I would add them anyway to my 2025 Christmas village. Maybe one day I will try to model myself this one, to see if I can reproduce this one, to forge it, but it is to reproduce, because the more people can get this figurine in their collection, their Christmas village, the more Christmas spirit will be expanded over the emptiness of the space, over the boundaries of our galaxy, etc. So beautiful. Maybe one day I will get there. Maybe off season I will try, and then maybe I will share the figurine. It is too good. And I don't care if the ones who have them cannot sold them. I understand the rarity of the object, of the item, but I've seen it reaching 200 euros. It is exaggerated. I think this was sold no more than 20, 30 euros at that time. Okay? Nowadays, 15, 20 euros for a Louville collection. More Louville figurine, sorry, more than Lemax. Standard Lemax are between 10, 15, 19. They start from 20 and goes up, Louville, etc. But getting to 200, even if, let me call it perfection, this is perfection enough. Why? You are understanding why figurines are so important for me and why I tend to manage. Last thing, Louville, Lemax, Department 56 and Silvio production. Some weeks ago I shown you already two of my new 2025 batch figurines. The trumpet musician and the trumpet player musician sitting on a crate, and the federal agent. Okay, they weren't painted. Now you will get a touch of what is my intention with my figurine production this 2025. It is to have on my Christmas village figurines of people that could have been there during Victorian time or a little over Victorian time. But people, okay, doing something. And the trumpet player, the agent, the federal agent, maybe it is a little towards 1920, 1930, but it could have been there even with the top hats, etc. The figurine I will show you right now, I will not say their names. It is a duo. Maybe you will recognize them, maybe not. The youngest ones out there that are watching this may not recognize them, even if they are so iconic. And it all depends if I modeled them correctly. Then I will also show you how it all started during June or late May, June, end of June 2025. I will get you through a leap into the past once again. My first completed figurine from this 2025 season is this one, guys. I know you aren't seeing it correctly, and I used a new type of bases that I will tell you about during this part 13. I don't know if you can recognize them, guys. Let me approach the camera as I can. I will not say their names. I will call them Slim Boy and Fat Boy, okay? Heavy-weighted boy and Slim Boy. Look at the faces, look one, Okay, maybe I will comment it because now you see this like that, but I also filmed before how I got to this. And hope you know, could have they been in Victorian time? Slim Boy was born in 1892. Victorian time ended in 1910, so maybe 18. They are a little older than 19, 20 years old. But guys, another concession for me. I love this duo so much. They were mistreated by everyone, that it is a pity, but they were geniuses, especially Slim Boy, that was the brain of the duo there. Simply working shoes, working working trousers, working suit there, both with white shirts. Slim Boy has a pair of gloves, Fat Boy no bucket of paint or glue. Slim Boy with the brush dripping glue or paint on top of Fat Boy bowler hat. The hammer is for Fat Boy. Obviously, the glue or the white paint was for a Slim Boy there. And it was so difficult, so long to model this couple here, this duo here. I will try to explain something. I already explained this, but imagine simply 3D printing them at a double scale. It will change completely. The look and the details will change completely. Maroonish or dark red bow tie for Slim Boy, the classic black long tie for Fat Boy there. Dressed almost identically because they have always been dressed identically since I remember. And this is my new base, guys. That is a transparent base, and as you can see there, you can read through. So whenever you place this, it is less visible than those bases there. While I was assembling these, because I've not 3D printed or 3D modeled, I 3D modeled Fat Boy, then Slim Boy, then the bowler hat, then the hammer, then the bucket, and then I have assembled everything together. They are sad, both of them. For once, he has no stupid expression, but it is crying. Because he had two expressions, stupid, embarrassed, maybe embarrassed, and smiling, but not that often. He also cried. Him always is expression, his standard. Fat Boy had always that expression there. This is where I will go with my figurines. Yes, for me, they could have been present in Victorian time, and yes, I will add them to my Christmas. And the bucket there splashed, okay, splashed. And you will see how I did the splash and everything else. It is not glue, it is not silicone cork. It is soap, not the transparent one I've used the previous seasons for simulating the water, but it is white soap. Here the base has a little part that needs to be removed, and then they are glued them together like that. Maybe you hate me for that, maybe you haven't recognized them. Up to you to judge. Hope they will get a good a good time in my village, and maybe I will show them to you during my final recap. Okay, and they are in scale with every other figurines. With the shoe shiner, they are in scale. They are in scale. All my models are always in scale with everything else from Lemax, Louvre, Department 56. Not those guys here, guys. No. Maybe I will add them, but I'm not sure. Maybe some other items from Department 56. Okay, but I don't know if I will add those one. Up to you. Maybe you have a suggestion. Should I use them? Should I use also Department 56 figurines this season? I don't know. I don't know. So guys, let me show you how it all started. Good guys. Today is June 28, 2025. And I'm starting recording something that maybe I will show you on September, October, I don't know really when. And this is an advanced starting point of a figurine that I want to add to my 2025 Christmas village. But it is not simply a figurine, it is a set of figurine, it is a duo. If I followed correctly what I wanted, what I will want to show you in the future, I don't know when, you have just seen the final and total result of what I started in early June. It is June 28, but I started that in early June, and it is part of my big question for this season. Maybe not entirely mini section or themed section, but the big question for me is who can I put in my Christmas village, in my 2025 Christmas village, and would not have been out of time in Victorian period, up a little more towards the first 10, 12 years of 1900 centuries, and this is one of them. This duo that you have just seen, it is one of them. I will not citate their names, but you have understood, I hope, if I modeled them correctly, what these will be. And maybe you will see some other, yes, you will certainly see some other who can be there, who could have been there figurine. I'm starting with this couple here to show you, but I already modeled 3 or 4. This is the save screen of ZBrush. Don't worry guys, I'm just showing you what I used to model my organic models, my organic figurines, because no, I don't use Blender or Rhino, because Rhino 3D it is more towards industrial, but ZBrush it is for organic, so figurines, animals, etc. It was very complex, so I splitted him, because this slim figurine it is much more easy to model and has been easiest to model than the fat guy you have seen. The chubby guy, sorry, not I don't want to disrespect him. And I subdivided it in the main body there. This is the main body, so with some shoes, maybe not appropriate shoes, but I wanted to give them some quality shoes. Oops, I don't want to damage anything. Then the bow tie, because he needs a bow tie, a brush in his hands, okay, and the more difficult one that took me at least 2 weeks to model correctly, because one thing, guys, is to model something generic, but when you have to mimic, or if you wanted to forge a real figurine, a real head with some lineaments, etc., it is very difficult. But, and here is the head, guys. Maybe I can make it bigger. So I don't wanted him to be the classic expression as always smiling, stupidly smiling, but guys, just remember that he was the intelligent part of the comic duo. It was the writer, it was the brain of the duo, of the couple, of the comic duo, okay? And his character wanted him to be always smiling, always being stupid, always being with the eyes lost in nowhere. But in this case I wanted him in the other expression, the one that is sobbing, almost crying, it's not my fault, please forgive me. And so almost sobbing. I haven't modeled some tears drop, etc. No, but it is not smiling, it is sobbing, almost crying, etc. And this is my best effort to make him this way. And the less difficult parts were the brush and the bow tie. Obviously it is a representation of the brush it has in his hands, simply because bristles would have been impossible to 3D print, so I had to make a concession there. And who cares? At the dimension I represented everything and 3D printed everything. The bristle would haven't been visible anyway, and a mess, and the brush there will be covered, and you have seen it covered with something. You have seen me, or you will see me doing, because this is the starting point. So guys, first one is him, okay? 2 weeks, 3 days, a couple of hours, no, 1 hour and 20 minutes, because the brush is simple geometry. Then a shirt, then some gloves here, work trousers or work suit, And so guys, this is where I started from. And guys, if I want to modify something, and I can modify something here, let's get here this done like that. I can modify everything. Okay guys, so yes, this is how I modeled him. I don't know, maybe it is not that similar to reality, to the origin, but I only had some movies to get inspiration from, and this is my modeling of him. And obviously here is the second member of the duo, okay, and believe me, modeling an overweighted figurine is always much more difficult to model than modeling an normal shaped person, okay, or slim or normal shaped normal figure person, simply because the proportions are not the same, and you risk to make some mess, okay. But here the same principle, the body, because the body is the easiest way to model. Same thing, a shirt, working trousers there, etc. Then obviously I modeled a tie, because him without a tie it's not possible. And please guys, I modeled them separately simply because the number of points of polygons, etc. If I show you all the polygons, all the little components there, it's impossible. I had to do that for the details, especially for the head. The more detail you add, the more detailed you want the character, the more millions, because this is millions of polys, of counts, okay, of points. The points are the junction between each and singular part of the triangles, or in this case shapes that constitute the model, okay. And the 10 millions, it is huge guys. This file is almost 2 gigabytes simply for him, and it is a nonsense, okay. But I wanted them to be as detailed as possible, so I had to do that, okay. And the details are not that bad, okay guys. Maybe the jeans not as a rough tissue, but at the dimension they will 3D printed, I have no other solution than to do like that. And then obviously the head guys, and the head is what it took me, at least this one, it is once again 2 weeks of work simply just for the head, okay guys. And it is so much detailed, and him, it had just one expression all over the movies, always this expression here for me. And once again the eyes very closed, because he had very closed eyes, etc. The hair, and it is not that simple to model him without a hat, simply because it isn't very well filmed in the movies without a hat. I didn't want to make him completely bald, so I modeled some hairs, but this is the front, and I hope, and the moustache that he used way before World War II, so no, okay, and maybe it has the mustache are in common with another comic actor, okay. But guys, this is our chubby guy, and obviously I also modeled what you have seen, and that's why the tip of the foot there is this a little strangely modeled, a little too flat, because it needed to be inside the bucket you have seen. And so I made him like this. It has the same shoes, because the duo always had the common clothes together, the same shoes as the other one, as the slim one. I will continue not to say their names. Okay guys, you have just seen, or some minutes ago, the final result. Maybe right now we are in plain shock because of my craziness, but I think that duo will fit perfectly into my 2025 Christmas village. Pardon me if you don't think so. So now you have seen the final result. Many hours, or not many hours, I don't know. Yes, I think at least 5 hours of work. I will be more precise in some minutes, in some hours. But where do I started from? I will show you. I think you have seen right now what I filmed in late June, I believe, the last days of June 2025, concerning my final step of 3D modeling the duo with everything. But after that comes the difficult part, not the 3D printing, because that is very simple, but assembling everything and painting everything, the longest parts, okay? And this season I also implemented a new way of adding the bases to my figurines. Not for my companion that you have seen, Miss Genevieve, because it has still the old way of doing the figurines bases. Let me get them. So here I have my last two companions, Mac here and Miss Genevieve there. Okay, and the bases were simply FDM 3D printed, very thin, no more than 3 millimeters layer, and this is cobblestones. This is a new version of cobblestone pavement, but they are less thick than standard Lemax bases, and I always tend to go with the same profile, with the same extent of the figurines, in order to have the base as less invasive as possible, even for Mac there. But it is always a base that may or may not be good for what you have in mind for your pavement. Here is my standard cobblestone pavement there. And if I place them on the cobblestone paper, and this is thick paper. I just want to remember you that I don't print inkjet print on some standard paper, but this is 280 grams per square meter paper, so a little more good paper, and the bases prevent me to see what it is under the figurine. Okay, so the pavement. This has always been the problem with the figurines, and just remember how thick were first figurines from vintage figurines, early 2000s, around there. Very thick, or 1990, very thick bases. Those are only 3 millimeters thick bases, and the figurines are not that heavy weighted, so they don't risk to fall down. Okay, they simply need a small base to prevent movement, because the 2 feet would have been too small to allow the figurine to stand and not falling down. So for this season, I've wanted to implement it, except for Miss Geneviève, pardonnez-moi, because she's old style bases. I wanted to try to get a very thin base, but also transparent base. I know on the market you can find some acrylic transparent bases, but they are thick, and they also are all rounded or squared, and they attract the attention. The most uneven profile of the bases, the figurine bases, the better it is for trying to avoid the eye to get there. So, in other words, it is difficult already to mask what it is irregular, to hide what it is irregular. Imagine rounded bases. It's not natural to have someone on some circle or on some squared bases. So I went differently, guys. I went with just 0.6 millimeter bases, 3D printed in PETG. It will never be completely transparent as the acrylic transparent bases you find on the market, guys, but it is transparent, guys. Look, I hope you can see. Let me check. Yes, you can see that you can see through the base, okay? Even here, red and green, etc. You can see through the base, okay? This is suited for the duo that I will implement, and even through there you can see the barcode X001/I5N8DP, etc., and you can read it through. It is only 0.6 millimeters, so not even just a little bit, half a millimeter of thickness, but it will be more than enough to support the figurines, okay? And even on the cobblestones paper, you can see the cobblestones through, okay? It is a little too big. So, and PETG, by the way, I haven't 3D printed this using PLA, because PLA or PLA plus, it is the standard filament everyone is using. On the market there is also PLA and PLA plus transparent filament, but instead I use the PETG. A little increased printing temp, around 230, 240 degrees Celsius. Sorry, but the 3D printers work in Celsius degrees and not Fahrenheit. But it is transparent, not perfectly clear transparent, and not perfectly shiny, and it is due that because the crystal bases, the transparent acrylic bases you have on the market are completely shiny, so they can shoot lights, they can reflect lights. Here a little less shiny spot sometimes, but you can see through. Not completely transparent because there are two layers, not just one layer of PETG. Minimum resistance, you need to have two layers, and yes, two layers. If this is 0.6 millimeters, it needs that each layer is 0.3 millimeters. Okay, so very thin layer, maybe not conceivable with not last generation 3D filament 3D printed, but hey, you can go with that. I will test for the first time this kind of base, of transparent base, and you have just seen that it works. And so, sorry guys, I will put you aside. Starting point will be slim one and fat one and bucket and hat, bowler hat and hammer. Just 3D printed, cleaned of the supports, final curing under the UV lamp, and then primed. 2 layers of polyurethanic gray primer, airbrushed, not with the standard brush, but airbrushed. 2 layers, very thin layers, and you can see that originally the color was this gray here, because I can avoid when the figurine touches something to not have the but anyway, this will be hidden, so it will not even be painted, even if I will paint it. And with the light gray, it tends to be like that, and the details are always watchable and visible everywhere. So simple color, because they have work clothes. At the time it was blue jeans, and not clear blue jeans, but Genoa blue jeans, Genoa very dark blue color jeans, and like that, and a white shirt, and then black tie for him, and bow tie, maybe black, maybe red. I sincerely don't know right now, because I wanted to give this personal touch. Maybe I will go with red, but I don't know. But you have already seen what I decided to go, where to go. And once again, here the feet are not primed, because they were attached to some base. The bucket here was like that, so I will need to adjust the primer here, because this will not be on the floor. And yes guys, the bucket, as I modeled it, get inside, so the foot get inside the bucket, and that's why. So if I remember correctly what I 3D modeled, my intention is to place on the figurine, on the base, like that guys, okay, with fat boy bowler hat like that, and then the hammer like that, okay. On the base it will be the same. If I modeled the base correctly, it is suited to go like that, like that. Like that. Like that. And the hat there. And the hammer, if he is using the brush, he was using the hammer. And the hammer, like that, okay? This is, and yes, you have just seen, I don't know when, but I surely showed you how I model these bases there. I don't use Blender, I use Rhino 3D to model them because it is quickest to do with Rhino for me. And that's how it will be when finished. I just need to take a good look to the hat that needs to be under the brush there, okay, completely under the brush. And it will go like that. So I will start painting. Maybe I will start with, I don't know. Okay guys, 5 hours later, those are the two figurines painted, almost finished, okay. The final touch, I will add them once placed on the base, and bucket, hat and hammer here. So let me start. I will take the base, I will take him, and I will place it there, okay. I will find the correct spot. Good, it is not finished, so let's advance, okay? What I will be using, because I need some splash, okay? I need some splash, but standard acrylic paint will get too much time to dry out, to cure. So I will use some melt and pour soap base, and no, it's not like the one I use that I commonly use to simulate water. This one is pure white, okay? It is pure white, so obviously the splashes will be white, simulating white paint splashed everywhere. I will not need that much soap to do whatever I wanted to simulate, but I need some. Let's start, and if I need some more, I will add some more. It is pure white soap. I will melt it, guess what, into the microwave oven. Final recap of part 13 of the 2025 season, and I am starting with a pan view of the new layout, guys. I'm talking about the new layout because I did some changes, I did some maybe improvements, I don't know right now, but it is for sure that it has changed the main aspect right now. And you also see the new background I decided to add, even if there it will be completely hidden by the last level. So let me go back to the normal view, and let me start by here, guys, where Fat Boy and Slim Boy are there. You have seen me working on that first figurine, not first in absolute, but first completed figurine of my 2025 batch. So all the figurines will be present, don't worry, I simply need time to complete them, and they are in perfect scale with Miss Genevieve there. If I place Miss, oops, sorry, Madame Genevieve there, they are perfectly in scale, and the new base, it is practically transparent. You can see the cobblestones through the new base. I still miss a little thing here on the street, but it will be completed by in next week or by next part, I don't know. Sorry for not having uploaded soon, but I was once again abroad for 4 days in a row. Then guys, I made the level there. That level is practically complete. I added the street lamps, I added the canal fences, the buildings, so Lucy's Chocolate Shop, La Belle Vie Bistro there, and the carved nutcrackers, the toy factory there, and the village apothecary there, that I'm not using that frequently in my villages, but I have it since many times. I don't use it very frequently simply because of the curved roof, too Chinese. But it is the village apothecary. So every single street lamp is already working. I still need to connect the buildings there, but I told you last time that the central section will be dedicated to all the standard buildings, the Lemax or Department 56 or Louville sometimes, and then also the last level that will be there that I had to remove because I added the street there, the cobblestone street on the street that is climbing up, and I also placed the first little carriage there, but sincerely I don't like that base. Maybe I will have to remove that base. Then guys, in the middle of the section I decided to add the only fountain right now on catalog with Limax/Lemax. I still need to carve the space, but in the middle between the Actor Studio and the Nora's Christmas Boutique there will be the fountain there. Still need to do all the wiring here. I simply completed there because it will be impossible for me to work. I need to hide the border there, but I will do that in just a few minutes. Then I completed the junction between this level here and the level behind the industrial section, and I also placed the ballroom palace there. It will be there. I still miss something around it, a little park, something like that. But all the levels right now are connected one to the other through something or not something. Then guys, let's move to the right where this is the big improvement. Sincerely, after 6 seasons it is harder and harder to find new stairs, new designs for my villages. This is a squared twin stair there with a circular square there, not square because otherwise it would be squared. But let's call it a circular square, okay? But here I had to eliminate two houses, guys. The 2 houses I have eliminated are those two ones. The last one I have placed there. It's a pity because they are already primed and not painted, but I had to eliminate those 2 houses that were one here and one on the other side, and also cut part of the cobblestone road there to accommodate this stair. Pure Victorian for me stair, and no, it is not over-dimensioned, simply because if I place Miss Genevieve there, the balustrade, the railings are exactly at the half height of the figurines, of Lemax figurines, and strange design there, but curved steps there, then going from the left or from the right. And I will have a space there for adding something Other new addition is the second tree I made for this season. The first one, I concur with you, maybe it is more elegant, more proportionate. This one is a little less proportionate, too large base, but it was the first one I made. I modeled and then 3D printed for this new season. I can approach, there are teddy bears also on the sides, the star, maybe too dark colors, but it has gold, etc. Here I used another brand of gold, and it is much more realistic gold, and the colors here are more suited for Christmas, guys. Then addition, the Tannenbaum clock tower, that, guys, it is old, because I already told you after my annual trip to Pragas, it is from 2010. It starts to be vintage, but I wanted to add it there because it's one of the good looking pieces ever made by Lemax. And also the Tannenbaum, if there is the Tannenbaum clock tower, there is the Tannenbaum shop that is even more vintage, guys. 2003, guys, 2003, and it will be perfect to hide part of the pillars there. Just remember that the other beautiful Christmas boutique there, Christmas shop, it is from 2018. Then I added the Kingsford rug merchant, that it is from Department 56. I already told you a lot about it during last season. And then there it is the other Department 56, the Joseph Edward T. Shoppe. It is wrote like that, Shoppy, shop. And then I added there the schnapps from Louisville, because it is not too tall and not too short to accommodate in that part there. Other big addition that needs to be completed here on the side, it is the additional part, and also there, because I don't like that it is not seamless, and you see, but I will add a tree something there. It's not complete, guys. I advanced in my village, but it is far from being completed. And I made the mountain, that it is providing some hiding for the pillars that were not that beautiful to see, to look at there. Here I will have something else. So here will be populated this zone here, Tannenbaum Christmas shop there, the candy, the apple candy stall or mini wagon there. I added there also, so that one is from Louisville, this one too is from Louisville. And then I still need to work on this section here to hide some more, but I don't want hide that much, because I want the tower, the Genevieve tower there, to be visible as much as possible. Obviously still need to be painted. What else, guys? Here, believe me, it took me 3 nights sleepless to complete that stairs, and to imagine what kind of stairs could I place it there. So it is the season of the stairs, up there, up there. So, but 2 different type of stairs. Here the mini alley that will go from one side to the other. Here you will have also the passage to get here. Everything is connected, but this alley will help me, and having the alley opened like that, it will allow the view of the pub, that is not the perfect pub, but it is a good looking pub from Lemax. Painted building, and I swear it, I would have painted the building. So The corner building they are painted half white and brown. There, just the corner, it is painted with ivory, and then the rest, and the other half it is green and white, but it is continuity. The roof, my mistake, I haven't added a chimney. It is the only building from this season, no, other two. Even the long one there has no chimney. So the first one I modeled had no chimney. I don't know why I forgot to model the chimney, but I needed this, and I also added some black, some dirty black on the roofs, because I remember you that everything was heated by chimney, so coal, etc. Then I completed the painting of the 4 almost in series building. Here I have the one there that has normal bricks, etc. And I think I will add a doctor signpost, maybe Dr. Jekyll signpost there, maybe yes. Also, I forgot from the side, I painted the bank. The bank is green for the money, and it is white as purity. Could remember a bank. Then I added the 2 external wall-mounted lamps that are functional. I haven't connected anything yet, but they are functional as always. The other trio of buildings painted that are same series of that one. Same series because I modeled them at the same time. It is this one, and inside here, I don't know if you can see, but believe me, I have a barber shop scene inside, so this will be the barber. Let me place them from the opposite side, because I don't have ready the camera to get inside the main street there. But oops, working with one hand, so like that. Okay guys, and inside each one there will be a scene, classic Victorian color, dark blue, dark teal, dark green, etc. The windows are with curtains, and inside scenes here on 2 levels. I have elegant goods there, and here I have another shop there. I have some shoe shop there. I will show you the inside sometime. Okay, let me replace them correctly, and I will show you from the main street. Now that they are painted like that, I have painted 2, 4, 6, 7 building, 8 building, because I forgot another one. And from the main street there, the buildings will have that look there, guys, and so going on, guys. Then I also painted the hotel and restaurant. I know maybe it is too advanced, because there weren't that much hotel and restaurants in Victorian time. And guys, I have the feeling that I'm missing something on the roof. Not true. I'm not missing it because I already did it, but I hadn't time to add it and connect it to the wires to let you see what I have. But next time you will see what I have developed for the roof. But colors, I had the same tones of blue, so a pale blue and a little more dark blue, and inside as the windows are very large here, I have an hotel reception with also restaurant tables inside. This one, when completed, I will show you, but I had a scene here, no, because I have the curtains, but inside where you don't see the curtains, I always add a scene there. Oops, the bench there is not placed there, so I think I made the tour of what I had here. Then, guys, let me slide to the left, because I started adding the buildings that would allow me to get towards this part here. So I added there a building number 8, guys. It is there, building number 8 for the commercial industrial site, with the same lamp there in the middle that you have there. I haven't connected it, but in the middle there from this side I have the lamp. I still had to complete with the background, so I will not show you the lamp, but it is there. And maybe I can show you from this side. The lamp is there almost in the middle, allowing the lamp to illuminate everything on the arc. So and here also I 3D printed and 3D modeled the corner pipe that allow me to complete this scene finally and add the fluid coming out from the front here. And then here the other buildings will be connected here at this point and going there, and then also going up till there, guys, up till there at the same level. So another 3 or 4 buildings already made, still need to be painted and assembled. No, they are assembled, not painted, but it is similar to this one, the building number 8, but a little different. I had arcade windows there, I had these little frieze there that is larger than this one. So similarity between the buildings, but differences also. This one is, maybe I can measure it if I find the ruler. Yes, here it is. Hello, boys. The dimension of this additional part here from one side to another, it is 4 centimeters. This one from one side to the other, it is 4.8 centimeters. As you can see, it is almost a centimeter, let's say 5 centimeters. It is a centimeter larger. The roof, it is similar, 2 chimney there, 2 chimney here. Here the pipe going there, and the pipe here are going another way. The arc is larger, this one is narrower because it is only 10 centimeters. This one is larger, it is 12 centimeters. So buildings in this section have similarities. I modeled them like that, exception for this one that are identical, this one and the twin one that will be here on the opposite corner, that will be identical, but the rest is not. I will have only one of those rounded building there. I had to model another twin there to make the corner here, and finally the last one will remember this building there, but it is not like the airborne. It is similar to the airborne but not identical. But right now, so new painted buildings are 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 2, 4, 6, 7, 8 buildings painted, because freshly painted it is the hotel and restaurant, the 4 series, and it is 4, 5, 6 the bank, 7 the corner building, and then building number 8 that you have just seen there. The extra building I removed. I placed there the 2 houses I had there in proximity of the new stairs, and this building here that was also in here, but right now I don't know if I will use them, because this is a huge modification, guys. But let me pan once again at 0.6. It is starting to look completely different. I love that valley that I didn't made it, but the valley of the brick background, it is so beautiful. It is the valley, a real valley in Europe, and the picture is taken from a railroad, a real railroad that goes there, and it ends on to a Schloss, a castle in the mountain, in the Germany mountains there, or Austria, I don't remember Sicily, but that is a good, with the different colors, etc. It had a different point of view, but unfortunately this part here will be completely hidden. Only the top of the mountains will be visible, but at least all my books are hidden right now. Oh yes, another novelty. I decided to go with just one bridge there. It will be more than enough. Having 2 bridges, no, and the bridge, obviously, it is here. The third one, it is still to be assembled. What else, guys? Yes, I started thinking, and maybe you heard about the park section I will have here, and I thought to myself once again, 2 giant Christmas trees, 2 stairs, why not 2 fountain? The problem is, as always, that Lemax only do that one, and the one from Department 56, the Camden Park fountain, that it is retired, I could have acquired it sincerely, but it is too huge, too deep. It will take too much places. So I did this one, and it is spilling too much water right now. That's why I've tested it. It is too powerful. I need to reduce the power of the pump, so I will have to add a potentiometer there. It is made from resin, not filament, because I wanted it to be waterproof, and then I painted it, and then I sprayed it with some 2 layers of matte but a transparent lacquer there to protect it from the water, and you see that it is spilling too much water. The pump is too powerful that I had, but it is the less powerful pump I had. So maybe I will invert those 2 buildings in order to have, or maybe I will use this one. I want to have the fountains against, maybe, or near some plain walls, not walls with windows or doors. So I have 1, 2, 3 and 4 building that could be used for that. I don't know, but I will certainly use this fountain here. I haven't shown you how to make it, because it is simply a matter of modeling and 3D printing with resin, 3 pieces. The base that is a little elevated, then the main structure here, and then the cover here that is simply applied on top of it, where I have the pump inside. But I needed a way to access the pump in case I had to replace the pump. And the wire is not getting on the bottom, because I didn't want some leakage so I had the cable coming out, because unfortunately this water pump here, it's work on 220 volts, not at 5 or 12 volts, so it has a giant cable, and I went along the border there, but once completed, this side will be opposite one, so you will not see it. But once again, I will have to reduce at least by half the power, because I don't like those bubbles. Those bubbles are due to the fact that the flow, it is too powerful. The water flow, it is too intense, and so it makes bubble. It agitates the water too much. I will reduce it, just having water, and it is coming out from tree. And those are simple. It's not copper. It is brass. Okay. In English it is a brass little pipe that I have bended and inserted in the middle column that is completely empty inside. In the middle I have a hole and 3 holes getting there. Then I simply added and bended, after having cut it, 3 pieces of brass pipe there. And obviously this will be at the ground level. I simply needed to dig some holes in the styrofoam and avoid having the spilling of the water. The only way to avoid that is to reduce the power of the pump. Then I also replaced, I've shown this during the video about my trip to Peraga Christmas shop, and I told you that I liked it, but the LEDs were too fade. I replaced it with 2 of mine LEDs. I redid the cabling and inside the wiring, not cabling, sorry, the wiring inside, and I still needed to paint the upper section there. I had to cut the upper section to use only the lanterns, and the redesign having it cut in the middle there. I've worked for the past 2 weeks in urgency, so I haven't filmed everything. Maybe I can show you, because I had it how I modeled the stairs. I recorded the screen when I was modeling there, but it is the same as you have seen me modeling the 2 boys there. Hi. And I don't know, maybe you judge me for having had them, because Slim Boy, as I already told you, was born in 1892. So maybe during Victoria and during Victorian time, that Victorian time ended in 1910, it was too young. But anyway, I wanted them because no one has them on catalog, guys. I hope you have been able to identify them. If not, tell me. I will try to correct the modeling of them. You have also seen the perfection of Louisville figurines. I'm not at that level, but maybe one day. I simply need that you can identify them, okay? And then I will continue with some other of my standard figurines there. And the spilling, guys, using the soap there is not that bad. Having used the soap, let me place them on some roof there, like that. It is the splashing of the, I have some spilling of water on the ground, on the floor. Using the soap there to here it is correct, having a drop there, and also so the drop effect on Fat Boy bowler hat. But here the splashing was a little different, so I had to flatten a little bit there, but I don't know, it could have been a good scene for a movie, for this duo movie. Okay, it could have been there, and it is standard for them to have him acting and him under the influence of the actions. Slim Boy always did, and in this case always is still doing, guys. Up to you to judge, as always, guys, but everything is connected once again. I hope to show you something more for next time, especially continuing in painting. But guys, 8 buildings painted and 7 buildings painted and 1 assembled, considering that in the past 2 weeks 4 days were completely unuseful because I had to go once again in France for work. And really all, guys, see you for the outro in some seconds, guys. Oui, bien sûr, une star du cinéma, il vient d'être inventé là. She wants to be a movie star. It has just been invented. It has just been invented. Cinema has just been invented. How can you be a movie star? No one knows it. No one. She's driving me crazy. Believe me, she's driving me crazy more than usual. I must cry now. But anyway, 7 building painted, 8 building, considering the new one that you haven't seen before. For once, I kept my word, even if there was 2 weeks between last part and this part. I couldn't avoid it. I had to obey when my boss told me, go to France for work. It has completely changed once again, and you know I'm used to that. At a certain point I must reinvent my layout or do some strange addition, doing some extreme additions. There I modified, but it allowed also me to add some more Lemax buildings from my collection. I will still continue adding, if possible, elements from my mother's collection. I make a statement. Maybe in 1 or 2 seasons I will be able to say that that collection now is mine. But for now, at the moment, it is still my collection with the addition of my mom collection. Some elements, I will try to find some figurines that will get there. And also some carriages, something I remember from my mother collection that they are not in catalog anymore, and maybe it will allow me. I will certainly change the power, or maybe add where it is not visible a potentiometer to avoid the pump to be that powerful, because it is at minimum set up, but it is still too powerful and the water will spill around. I just need a minimum of that water to get out from the 3 bended brass mini pipes. The new figurine, guys, now you know where I wanted to go with the figurines, with my 2025 figurines. I've asked myself simply, who could have been present during Victorian time or almost Victorian time and be present also in my Christmas village? Allow me a certain flexibility, because Fat Boy and Slim Boy aren't that pure Victorian. Maybe 10 15 years into the future. But they are, I needed to add to have an homage to them, to homage them with a presence, because it seems that they started to be forgot, and it is a pity because they were giant. Especially Slim Boy was the genius of the duo. It was the writer, it was him who invented all the main scenes. You have seen them. I cannot deny that they are a movie duo, and I hope to call them by their real name from part 14, but only if you will identify them, okay? Oui, 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 bien sûr. Non, non, vous ne pourrez pas jouer avec eux. Non. She wants to play in a movie with them. No, I created a monster. Yes, a monster. I say the monster. Yes, vous êtes un monstre, un monstre. You are a monster. Then what else, guys? I will try to go right now. Hiding with rock paper. I know you don't find rock paper everywhere in your countries, but I have one thing that it is common in Italy and not common everywhere else. It is rock paper, and the rock paper will help me. I will not hide this side here, but maybe I will add something to hide and continue these little that seems to be hidden, but I can populate them. The new stairs. Up to you also to judge the new half circular stairs on double-sided. It is between Victorian and Baroque, not that modern, because the handrails, the baluster, are similar to what used to be some of the Lemax fences, but I made them a little more slim in order to let you see through the balusters, and also a little shorter. Once again, it is very difficult after 5 or 6 seasons to try to model new stairs after all the stairs design I made during this season. But maybe one day when I will go retired, I will start a new career doing some stairs architect around the world. I don't know. Non, ne vous en faites pas. Je vous abandonnerai très aisément. I will abandon you very easily. Don't worry, Madame Geneviève. The new tree or so. Plenty of new things, and expect some new things, some addition on the roof of the hotel and restaurant. I'm forgetting something, but now you have seen everything new for this part 13. Maybe something crazy I will continue adding part 14, 15, but believe me, I'm not that behind the schedule. Maybe I am right on schedule, and I still plan to complete that by the last days of November, not the 24 December like last season. Please don't forget to subscribe, comment, and give big thumbs up. Thank you for watching. Thank you for bearing once again my absolutely awful English, and see you next week, or maybe later, or maybe sooner for something else, but for part 14 obviously, but only if you really wish. Bye. Ciao.